Let's get right into it. Number 9. The cosmic firestorm that almost erased us. Picture this. You're an early human relaxing in your cave, maybe sketching out some wall art, when suddenly the night sky bursts into a light show brighter than a million suns. What you're witnessing isn't a star exploding, it's a 2-kilometer wide chunk of space rock, basically a flying mountain, barreling toward Earth. When it slammed into Southeast Asia, the ground literally melted into a boiling lava soup. The force was so extreme it blasted molten rock into space, which later rained back down as tiny glass marbles called tektites. These space beads have since been discovered everywhere from Antarctica to Australia. The impact threw up so much dust that Earth turned into a frozen snow globe, except instead of snow, the air was choked with death dust, blocking out the sun. Here's the wild part: we still don't know where the crater is. Scientists suspect it's buried beneath Laos's Balawan Plateau, today better known for its coffee farms. Imagine that. The place where humanity almost ended is now where people get their morning caffeine fix. Yet somehow, our ancestors endured years of freezing darkness, starvation, and fiery sunsets that must have looked like the end of the world. Number 8. The year the sun disappeared, 536 AD. Imagine living in the early medieval era, and one day the sun simply quits. That's exactly what happened in 536 AD. A mysterious fog rolled in and lingered for a year and a half. The sun was so faint that people couldn't even see their shadows at noon. It was like Earth's spotlight got swapped out for a weak desk lamp. Historians now believe this was caused by a colossal volcanic eruption that filled the sky with ash. Instead of Instagram filters making the world look prettier, this natural filter plunged the planet into chaos. Crops withered, summer felt like winter, and starvation spread across continents. Historians even call it the worst decade to be alive, which is really saying something considering humanity's track record. And just when survivors thought it couldn't get worse, more volcanic eruptions piled misery onto misery, locking the planet in a century-long chill. Number 7. The solar superflare meltdown. Every so often, our sun decides to lose its temper. Not with a heat wave, but with an explosion so massive it makes nuclear bombs look like sparklers. Scientists discovered that thousands of years ago, the sun unleashed a superflare hundreds of times stronger than anything in recorded history. If it had been just a little stronger, it could have fried Earth's ozone layer, our only shield against deadly ultraviolet rays. The proof is in nature's records. Tree rings and Antarctic ice layers reveal an era of extreme radiation. Even the moon carries scars from it. And here's the kicker. Other stars like our sun regularly unleash similar tantrums. So, yes, our star has the potential to do it again. Number 6. The Toba supervolcano blackout. 74,000 years ago, Mount Toba in Indonesia erupted with a force that dwarfs anything humanity has ever seen. Imagine an explosion 1,000 times stronger than Mount St. Helens. In just 2 weeks, it spewed enough ash and rock to fill 1.5 million Olympic swimming pools. The eruption blasted ash so high it turned day into night for decades. Imagine decades of permanent twilight. Food chains collapsed, plants withered, and animals starved. Humans barely clung to survival. Scientists estimate that only about 3,000 to 10,000 of us made it through worldwide. Today, what's left of that cataclysm is the peaceful-looking Lake Toba. But beneath its calm waters hides the site of humanity's near extinction. Number 5. The Great Freeze of 12,900 years ago. Just as humans began experimenting with farming, the planet suddenly plunged into an ice age. Temperatures plummeted by 10 degrees Celsius in only a few decades. New York would have looked like Siberia. One theory says a massive comet exploded over North America, igniting the skies. Another says a flood of glacial meltwater disrupted Earth's ocean currents, shutting down the planet's natural thermostat. Either way, the result was 1,200 years of frozen apocalypse. To survive, our ancestors had to innovate or perish. This disaster may have been the very pressure that pushed humanity toward resilience and progress. Number 4. The magnetic field collapse. Earth's invisible shield, the magnetic field, protects us from deadly radiation. But 42,000 years ago, it nearly vanished. Known as the Lost Champs event, the field dropped to just 5% of its normal strength. Without protection, cosmic rays bombarded the planet. Ozone levels fell, UV radiation spiked, and life on Earth became a dangerous waiting game. Humans sought shelter in caves, using red ochre as primitive sunscreen. Meanwhile, many species didn't make it: giant kangaroos, and even some of our Neanderthal cousins disappeared forever. And here's the chilling part. Earth's magnetic field is weakening again today. Number 3. The Atlantic current shutdown. Think of Earth's ocean currents as its central heating system. They circulate warm water from the tropics to the poles. But 8,200 years ago, the system broke. Two enormous glacial lakes burst, dumping water into the Atlantic like emptying 50 Amazon rivers all at once. This sudden flood diluted the salty ocean water, shutting down circulation. Within decades, northern hemisphere temperatures plunged. Crops failed, winters dominated, and civilization nearly froze before it even began. The only reason we're here today is that the system restarted itself just in time. Number 2. The volcanic winter that doomed the Neanderthals. 39,000 years ago, southern Italy exploded. The Campanian ignimbrite eruption sent ash 24 miles into the sky, 3 times higher than modern airplanes fly. It smothered Europe in layers of ash deep enough to bury people alive. Acid rain burned the land, sunlight disappeared, and survival became nearly impossible. For the struggling Neanderthals, this was likely the final straw. Number 1. The African mega-drought. 70,000 years ago, Africa, the cradle of humanity, was struck by a drought so extreme it nearly ended us. The once lush savannas turned into lifeless deserts. With inland resources gone, small groups of humans retreated to coastal caves, surviving on shellfish and whatever scraps the ocean provided. Genetic evidence shows humanity's numbers dropped to only a few hundred people. That's fewer than the number shopping at a Walmart on a Tuesday afternoon. This bottleneck event permanently shaped our DNA, leaving modern humans with surprisingly little genetic diversity. Humanity hit rock bottom and somehow bounced back. And there you have it, the 9 near apocalypses humanity survived. If you enjoyed this dive into our planet's greatest disasters, make sure to subscribe, because there are plenty more world-ending stories left to uncover.